You know what's interesting? A woman can meet hundreds of men in her lifetime, but there's always that one guy, that one man she just can't forget. No matter how much time passes, no matter who comes after him, his memory stays with her like a song she can't get out of her head. And you want to know something even more fascinating? It's never about his looks, his money, or how smooth he was with words. It's about something much deeper, something that touched her soul in a way she didn't even see coming. So if you're watching this right now and you're wondering, what makes a man truly unforgettable to a woman? Stay with me. Because what I'm about to share isn't some pickup artist nonsense or manipulation tactics. This is real female psychology, the things women actually talk about when no one's listening, the moments that replay in their minds years later. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine a woman sitting alone on a quiet evening. Maybe she's going through old photos, maybe she just heard a song on the radio, and suddenly, there he is, that man. And she smiles, not because he was perfect, but because of how he made her feel. That's what we're talking about today. First thing, and this is huge, a woman never forgets a man who truly listened to her. And I don't mean just hearing her words while scrolling through your phone or waiting for your turn to talk. I'm talking about that rare moment when a man actually stops everything, looks into her eyes and listens like her words are the only thing that matters in that moment. You see, women are told their whole lives that they talk too much, that they're too emotional, that they overthink everything. So when a man comes along and makes her feel like her thoughts and feelings are valid, like she's not crazy for feeling what she feels, like her voice actually matters, that creates a mark on her heart that never fades. She'll remember the way you leaned in when she was talking about her dreams. She'll remember how you asked follow-up questions about that story she told you last week. She'll remember that you didn't try to fix everything, you just understood. That kind of presence, that kind of attention, it's so rare in this distracted world we live in that when she finds it, she holds on to that memory forever. Here's another one that women talk about all the time. A woman never forgets a man who made her feel safe. And I'm not just talking about physical safety, although that matters too. I'm talking about emotional safety. The feeling that she can be herself around you, completely and unapologetically herself, without fear of judgment or rejection. Think about it. Most women spend their entire lives managing how they're perceived. They're too much or not enough, too loud or too quiet, too emotional or too cold. They're constantly editing themselves to fit into what they think the world wants them to be. But then comes a man who says, through his actions more than his words, "You're safe with me. You can let your guard down. You can be messy. You can be vulnerable. You can be real." When she laughs too loud and snorts a little, and he smiles because he finds it adorable instead of embarrassing. When she cries and he doesn't tell her to calm down, he just holds her. When she shares her fears and insecurities and he doesn't use them as weapons later during an argument. That man becomes unforgettable because he gave her something most women spend their whole lives searching for, a place where she doesn't have to perform, where she can just be. Now this next one is going to surprise you, but a woman never forgets a man who had his own life, his own purpose, his own passion. You might think women want a man who's always available, always there, always making her his number one priority. And yes, attention is important, but you know what's even more attractive? A man who has something he's building, something he's working toward, something that lights him up inside. Because when a woman sees a man who's passionate about something, whether it's his career, his art, his mission, his personal growth, she sees strength, she sees ambition. She sees a man who won't lose himself in the relationship because he already knows who he is. And here's the beautiful part. When a man like this chooses to spend his time with her, when he makes space for her in his purposeful life, she feels chosen. Not like a distraction, not like something to fill his boredom, but like someone who adds value to an already fulfilling life. That feeling of being chosen by a man who has options, who has a life, who has direction, that stays with a woman forever. Let's talk about something even deeper. A woman never forgets a man who celebrated her wins without feeling threatened. In a world where so many people are competitive, where egos are fragile, where insecurity runs rampant, imagine being with a man who genuinely lights up when good things happen to you. She gets that promotion, he's proud, not worried about being out-earned. She achieves a personal goal, he celebrates with her, doesn't try to one-up her with his own achievements. She shines in a room, he doesn't dim his light to make her shine, And he doesn't dim her light to make himself feel bigger. He just stands beside her and smiles. That kind of secure masculinity is intoxicating to a woman. It tells her that he's not intimidated by her success, that he doesn't need her to be small for him to feel big, that her growth doesn't threaten him because he's confident in his own worth. And when a woman experiences that, when she feels like she can be ambitious and successful, and still be loved, still be feminine, still be desired, she never forgets that man. Because he showed her what a real partnership looks like. Here's one that hits different. A woman never forgets a man who remembered the little things. Not the grand gestures, not the expensive gifts, but the tiny details that show he actually pays attention. He remembers that she doesn't like pickles on her burger. He brings her favorite coffee without being asked. He notices when she's wearing something new. He recalls that random story she told him 3 months ago about her childhood. He knows her favorite song, her comfort movie, the way she likes her eggs. These little things might seem insignificant, but to a woman they translate to, I see you, I notice you. You matter enough for me to remember. In a world where everyone's distracted and disconnected, that kind of attentiveness feels like love. It feels like care. It feels like she's not just another person in his life, but someone special enough to occupy space in his mind even when she's not around. And finally, and this might be the most powerful one, a woman never forgets a man who loved her during her worst. Not when she was all dressed up and confident, not when everything was going well, but when she was broken, messy, struggling, when she felt unlovable. The man who stayed when she was difficult, who held her when she pushed him away, who saw her at her absolute lowest, and didn't run. He didn't try to fix her like she was a project. He didn't make her feel guilty for going through a hard time. He just stayed. He was patient, he was kind, he loved her through it. That kind of love changes a woman, because it shows her that love isn't conditional on her being perfect, on her having it all together, on her always being the best version of herself. It shows her that real love is a choice, a commitment, a decision to stand by someone even when it's not easy. And when a woman experiences that kind of unwavering support during her darkest moments, that man becomes woven into the fabric of her soul. She doesn't just remember him. He becomes part of her story, part of who she is. So if you're watching this and you want to be unforgettable, don't focus on being perfect. Focus on being present. Focus on being real. Focus on showing up with intention, with kindness, with genuine care. Because at the end of the day, women don't remember the men who had the most money, or the best looks, or the smoothest lines. They remember the men who made them feel seen, heard, valued, and loved. And gentlemen, if you found value in this video, do me a favor. Hit that like button, drop a comment below, and tell me which point resonated with you the most. And if you're not already subscribed, subscribe because we're diving deep into relationship psychology every single week. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Until then, treat people with intention, show up with purpose, and remember, the best relationships aren't about finding the perfect person, they're about being the kind of person worth remembering.